we do a little Q&A. We also have a limited amount of merchandise that my beautiful girlfriend over here is setting up. So we do have a movie poster that's signed by me, Brian, and Justin that's here, as well as a few products that aren't in the store anymore but have already been released. So if you have any interest, that'll be there in a few minutes. But yeah, why don't we jump in? We'll start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, okay, sorry. I wanted to know what Taco saw, when what she touched, Meatpad's like gem memory.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like that moment, like if she had seen anything?
Yeah, like what did she see?
Yeah, so that memory is the memory that was at the very end. So if you see at the very, very end of the episode, there's that last memory that slots into place.
Oh.
So that's the one that she had gotten hit on the head on, but she didn't actually like fully see the memory because she had gotten hit with it in the head.
Okay.
So she didn't get the full experience. Right. Yeah, thank you. And sorry, right over here. Yeah.
So I got a question. So we saw Paper and OJ hanging out. So I got a question. Is Paper x OJ canon?
It's definitely canon. Yeah. There's no mistaking that. Yeah. So, and it's so funny too because for us, we thought like KJ was like canon for like as long as we could remember. Like to us as a crew, we were like they're like a thing probably. So we're like, let's just put it on the screen. And that's why I was saying like, because so many people during these things are like, is this couple canon? Is this a couple canon? I feel like it's kind of lame to be like, oh yeah, like they're canon and like not show it. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like, we don't not like those questions, but it's more like, if we're gonna see it, let's go full throttle with it, you know? But yeah, no, thank you. Light bulb plushie up there.
Okay, so I wanted to know, like, when Meatpad and Steve Cobb, when they both died, why did they become ghosts like Bo, Doe, and Knife?
Really good question. So Bo, Doe, and Knife were all created by MePhone, so they're all a part of Me Life. Steve Cobbs, I mean, this confirms, but it's kind of established already. MePhone couldn't have created Steve Cobbs because Steve Cobbs created him. So Steve Cobbs is clearly whatever you could call real in this universe. He's a real person. So this was an actual murder that took place here, which is pretty crazy. And Meatpad was also not a part of Me Life. That was also a device created by cops. So that would be why they didn't become ghosts.
I would also like my brother to share his question.
Yeah, go for it. Will there be a season 4? So I will say this will not be the last you'll see of these characters. So there will be more. I think we're definitely, getting that all situated right now. I don't think we're ready to drop an announcement, but definitely stay tuned. This will not be the end of all these guys. But yeah, thank you. We will go with the blue glowing thing over there. Loser, 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 loser. Awesome. I think that'd be a pretty sick band, honestly. I think that'd be pretty awesome. I think, do I want to tease this? I'll tease it. So you all heard I at the end of the, written by Ben Cross. I mean, he's incredibly talented, like an amazing music writer. And our new storyboard artist, Tabs, had storyboarded the entire sequence, which was awesome. There's actually an extended version of that song. And MePhone has a little line in it, so it's his first time he gets to sing. No one's asked that question, so this is like new information that only you guys know. So, but yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Adam.
Awesome. Right over here with you holding a life ring?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay, so we do know that Steve Cobbs has a human name, which is Steve. Do you have any idea, like, what a human name would be for any of the contestants at all?
Well, that's a really good question. Well, something that Joshua Waters, who's the voice of Cobbs, he's amazing, by the way. I feel like I could listen to him talk for like 10 minutes straight and just like take it in. He said something really funny on the live stream we did where he's like, each letter stands for another name. So that was really fun. So it's like, I did a little impression. It's really bad. Yes, hello, I am Steve Cobbs. My name stands for Stephen, Tyler, Evan, Valencia, Eve, Natalia. But thank you so much. We'll go with the yin yang play.
Yes. Okay. I've had this question for a while. Is Walmart real in this universe? Because like, if Marshmallow got things from Walmart, was that made by MePhone or is that like actually just Walmart?
It's a really good question and kind of like a lore important question here at this point. Like, did MePhone create Walmart? Like, is Walmart a real thing? It's a real question, right? And clearly Marshmallow has a connection to Walmart. Who's running Walmart now? These are things that I think, not even ironically, like I think it would be cool to explore in the future. It'd actually be interesting. But yeah, thank you so much. Ooh, we got the Liam backpack over here. Very cool. Will Bot and Bo ever have an interaction? I love the, oh, this is gonna be a whole thing, isn't it? Like for the fan, that was always fun. I think definitely they will. Like in some capacity, they'll have to have an interaction. It's gonna be a very interesting one, but they'll definitely have to chat. But thank you so much. We'll go with 4 over here. I think, you know, I don't wanna, I'm gonna go with my default answer where if they're meant to be together, maybe we'll see it on screen in the future. You know what I mean? I don't wanna say on the mic like, oh, they're together, and like, I would want that moment to be a real moment, you know? But thank you so much. Balloon plush over there.
Is Nico and Suitcase good now?
Well, what do we get? Oh, I don't expect you two to be friends, and we're not gonna be, when Suke said that. I think kind of a cool part about the finale is it kind of leaves the doors wide open of like, none of them really know what they're gonna do now. And, you know, Nickel and Suitcase, if they mend the relationship, you know, good on them, and if not, that's okay, they can go in their own directions. I would say right now, it's not at a super bad place, but it's not at a great one, you know. So we'll see if I can get it better in the future. Who knows? But thank you. And speaking of Nickel, we'll do Nickel up here in the back.
Yay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love Springy too, and Zooey does an incredible job with the character. That's why, like in this finale, if I could give anyone more screen time, I think it would be Springy, just because Springy appears for like 2 seconds and disappears. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think we have to see Springy again. But thank you. Right on, we'll go with Fan over here. Did they eat? Well, we definitely saw Suitcase munching on some popcorn there, so that's a confirmed, you know, Suitcase is in on the action there. I think they were all pretty hungry after that adventure, so. And that roasted corn looked pretty good, so. I don't know, but thank you so much. Ruby over here.
This has to do with the question about like, will there be a season 4? Since you know that season 2 has ended, what will Mifon do now?
I mean, that's a really good question, right? We see he obviously, you know, runs into 3GS, and this is an interesting dynamic because they both, Mifon has never, everyone that he's been surrounded by, theoretically, he's created at this point. And 3GS and him have a connection that he doesn't have with anyone else. They both come from a similar place. They have similar experiences from Cobbs. So I think it'd be really interesting to see that dynamic fleshed out. But clearly, I don't think Mifon is ready to be hanging around the contestants anytime soon, at least for now. But thank you so much. We'll go with Fiery over here. It's a great question. I wish I had a more definitive answer for sure, but regardless of what it is, if it's more Inanimate Insanity, we're going to continue to make awesome new content. So we will get to it for sure. I think we're going to take a little bit of a break, at least for the holiday season, to kind of, you know, enjoy Christmas and all that, but we'll be making more stuff, you know. But thank you so much. Also, really cool to see that people are getting the Suitcase plushies too, and they're coming through. That's awesome. So, gotta go with the Suitcase plush over here. I mean, I don't think they are. Like, you know, well, I don't know. That's what really brings up an interesting question, even with what your parents say when you told them the news. Again, I'm not good at that voice. But, you know, what is that family tie in this universe, right? It kind of blows the doors wide open. Are they all siblings? Are they all not? I don't think they are. But yeah, I don't think they're actually siblings. I think it was all kind of a bit. Yeah. Is BFD? I don't think so. I don't think it's canon to the universe. I think it's like an alternate timeline in this universe, if that makes sense. Like it's adjacent to it, but it's not, you know, like a direct connection. But thank you so much. We'll go with right here. Yeah.
So, I was wondering, are you guys planning to do any other objects from here to happen this year?
Oh my God, we would absolutely love to. Philippines would definitely be on that list. I think we are definitely, you know, absorbing what is actually the future for that. Still in the works, but it's definitely on the list for the future. International would be a big jump. We actually had a London screening of this movie. Our awesome animator, Philippe, also known as Choreo, He threw it all himself, so I wasn't there, but it looked like it was a really good time. So there's clearly people, in other areas other than America who want to watch, which is really awesome. Thank you so much. We will go with, ooh, I see two meat bones over here. We'll go with the meat bone on this side of the wall. Yes.
What would have happened if Meatbone was killed before the contestants could have escaped?
They would have all been gone. Yeah, no, for sure. Because the energy of Me Life is inside of him, so if he was killed, I think they would all be lost. Because it's the Me Life, it's the egg energy in combination with his circuitry that is what's kind of powering that whole world. So if one of those things is gone, I think everything connected to it is gone. But thank you. And now we'll go with the other meatball. Yeah.
Where are they stored?
I think all of those meat bones are dead, they are gone, but it begs the question of what's going on now. I mean, Meat Cloud is still there, right? What's in there? And so that's really interesting. Who knows how many more Meeple devices could have potentially come out. Now, Cobbs did send out the signal, and he said, they can't all be dead. We only saw one come forward, 3GS, so who knows if there are more out there, But thank you so much for the question. Let's go with right here in the middle.
It's me?
Yeah.
It's all right. So, first of all, it's great to see you again, and I really loved the movie you guys put up together. So, after a whole decade, it's your lifelong show is finally completed. So, I guess I just wanted to ask, what does Inanimate Insanity mean to you now?
Oh, that's a really good, deep question. I like it. I think the best thing, and people always ask, how do you feel? Just everyone being here just blows my mind. The fact that because again, the first video, I was 13 years old when that was released. I'm 27 now. So I've spent more of my life making Inanimate Insanity than I have not making it at this point. So I feel but the big thing was that naivete when I made the first video of I can make a cartoon, no problem. And obviously it wasn't the best thing in the world. But I just hope that maybe from everyone watching it, if you're an aspiring animator or designer or anything like that, maybe just a little bit more inspiration to just maybe continue on that idea or something, I think, is what I hope to maybe share with people. But you need to make a lot of bad before you make anything good. So.
Right.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. We will go with the tour shirt right here.
Oh, thank you. First of all, I'd like to apologize for my horrible Zoom impression at the Los Angeles meetup. But
I'm sure it's way better than mine if that makes you know.
Are you going to release the FLA files for the show?
I would really love to. Honestly, that's been a question. I've honestly just been so busy that I haven't even gotten around to it. But I think we should, especially since there's so many aspiring animators. I think it'd be good for people to actually be able to dig through and see how we did everything. So we'll definitely get around to it between this and whatever comes next. But thank you. Let's go with Knife and Taco over here.
So my question is, whatever happened to Fans Fantastic Features?
Yeah, we loved FFF. It was a lot of fun, and obviously Brian as fan, he does an incredible job. He wrote the whole movie too, so he's obviously super talented. I think we just got so busy with the episodes that when we went full throttle, season 3 was the first time we really were I think the gap between season 2 episode 13 and 14 was a year long. All those episodes were about a year apart. So this movie, I think, was accomplished in about half a year, which is pretty crazy because this is an hour and 47 minutes of content. It used to take us a year to develop 25. So we've definitely learned through Invitational how to make content more quickly. But it really was just because we were so busy with that. But I think we'll definitely see more of Fan in the future. Yeah, thank you. But that is an amazing Cobbs portrait, by the way. So.
Okay, so my question is, when you were writing the finale, was it all in one big chunk or was it separate?
No, honestly, it was really approached more 3 specific episodes, but I think it was more because the outline was all accomplished as one main story. So there's a lot of arcs you can obviously track throughout the whole movie, but from a production standpoint, they were really done as individual episodes. But the entire outline was done beforehand, but the actual polished script was done in 3 different parts. But thank you so much. We will go over here. Oh my God, that's a really good question. Something we developed recently too, we have a Spanish dub now of the show, which has been really cool to do. we are, I think, wrapping up season 3 now. So we started off with season 3 just because it felt like the most immediately approachable season for the new viewer. But that would be definitely something really cool to do in the future. Yeah, that'd be really fun. And it's been really cool to see just like people from Spanish-speaking countries can finally actually like watch the show and get involved in it. It's been really, really cool. So yeah, but thank you so much. We'll go right over here in the blue shirt and the headphones.
So, how did Toilet even get in the Me Phone X?
So essentially, Adam was created by Cobbs, and Cobbs used Adam to convince Toilet that in order to be the perfect assistant, he just had to follow his commands. And so Cobbs essentially tricked Toilet into operating the Me Phone X suit and told him, like, when you strike every contestant, it brings them healing and joy. And Toilet was not aware he was killing everyone. So once he became aware of it, he turned pretty quickly against Cobbs. So yeah, but thank you so much. We will go over here in the blue t-shirt, standing up. Yeah.
You can go ahead. Yeah. Quick question, because I know how characters are, like real and fake, right? You have all that.
Hello.
I've met like a couple friends, at least a friend in particular, who had a personality that fits with Candle, and I was wondering if the characters you've created had a reference, like in mind, of like real people in mind that has influenced the show in the way you created it.
It's a really good question. It's definitely multifaceted and it depends on the character. I think for Candle too, what's interesting about the entire season 3 cast is when we were developing the initial cast, we knew half of them would be returning favorite characters because we did that poll. And so a lot of that original group of like new characters was just a lot of spitballing and trying to figure out like what made the most sense in the moment. In terms of real people that inspired Candle, I can't think of everyone off the top of my head. So I wish I had a better answer to that. But definitely throughout the series, I think so much of our personal lives has kind of become a part of the show organically. And Dee just brings such an amazing, energy to the character that's like really hard to capture. So sorry about the kind of non-answer there, but yeah, thank you so much. Let's see, we'll do paintbrush and light bulb over here. Man, will they be able to make a recovery center without the power of the egg? I don't think they can, because I think that's kind of the main energy that's created all of them, the organic life they're looking for. They've obviously created Bot, but Bot is obviously different than the characters are, or the other contestants. So I think that's a little to be continued, to be decided. But it's a really good question. Cool. Over here. Hello again.
So what were Steve, like, you never explained this to us.
Sure.
What were Steve Cobb's parents like? We only got one mention of them in episode 8, and like, give us an answer. What were they like to him? Like, what did they do to him?
It's a really, really good question, and I think that would definitely be one of the things that would be really interesting to hear more about in a potential future project. But yeah, unfortunately, the episode clearly doesn't get into that very much. But yeah, I think that would be a really cool idea to explore. I wish I had more info on that, but.
What about MePhone 9?
MePhone 9. Yeah, I think maybe he's in MeCloud. I actually don't know. And it kind of gets into it, like, there's all those devices in MeCloud that haven't been yet to be seen, so maybe he's in there. But yeah, who knows?
We'd love to have you in Canada.
Yes, no, absolutely. I was gonna say, and thank you for coming all the way from Canada. That's amazing. And
That's why I went to both screens.
which, again, amazing props to you there, and thank you so much for the support. Thank you.
Love you, Adam.
Love you guys too. Thank you. Let's go with MePhone over here. My personal headcanon was that Nicolay runs Walmart. That would be like my main connection. It's a good question, right? Is Nicolay created by MePhone or is he not? Like, he kind of doesn't look like anyone else, so it's a genuine question. Someone's got to be running Walmart, But, and if, someone's asking for a discount, he'll be highly offended by that, so. Thank you. And another MePhone over here.
About me from more like how is it practice to get
I mean, that's a really good question. I think he wouldn't be able to fix it on his own, so maybe he needs a little help from 3GS to get that fixed. Yeah.
Another one, like, what about, like, have you thought about making like a prequel to Inanimate Insanity which shows a young Steve Cobbs?
Again, that would be such an awesome idea to explore. I think, at least for me, when I think of like the things that we didn't see on screen, Steve Cobbs' backstory is one of the more like interesting to me to get into, just because it's like, how did he become who he became? So there's a lot to get into there. Yeah, it'd be really cool to get into. Thank you so much. Right over here.
What was it like having your parents voice act for your own show?
It was so fun, and kind of the backstory, which I think someone on Twitter had relayed to the world, because I was telling them at one of the events, was Christian Potenza was Mifone in the first episode, and then after that first episode, I think he was like, oh, there's another one? I didn't sign up for that. And I was like 13, so I was like crying, and I was like so upset, and then my dad's like, oh, don't worry, Adam, like, I'll do Mifone, it'll be just as good. And I was like, but you're terrible at voice acting. You know? And then I think he took it as like a personal challenge to like overcome that, and I mean, I don't know, you could see his evolution throughout the show. Even go back to episode 1 and watch this. It's really, really amazing. And my mom I feel like was a natural from day one. Like she just naturally has that ability really well. And they both record from like my childhood bedroom closet still, from where episode 1 was recorded, which is really cool. But thank you so much. Let's go over here. Is that a nickel push? Here? Awesome. Sure. Really good question. I think in the universe, at least, it's visually the style has been when a character dies, we typically don't see their limbs anymore. And part of that, honestly, is just it's pretty gruesome. Even with Cobbs, when he had died and became like a husk of like roasted corn, we didn't see any of his legs or limbs flying around. So I think just it's more of a stylistic thing. I think Fox just died. But.
Inanimate Insanity, and they rewatch, and then after they finish the season, and if they watch season 3,
yeah.
would it like be like different because all the characters don't know like, that they were created?
For sure, that's a really good question. Part of the challenge too with this was, I mean, a lot of people were speculating that part 3 of this finale was going to be like Bot coming in and kicking everyone's butt. You know what I mean? And it would feel like if you were watching only the second season, it's like, who is this? Like, where did they come from? And then if you were to watch season 3 after that, you know, the Bot arc throughout that season would be really weird also, when you already know who Bot is. So we knew that Bot couldn't be a huge part of the finale because of that. But I think organically, and this is kind of hard to communicate, but I feel like the best way to digest the show is season 1, season 2 until episode 14. Then you watch season 3, then you go back to 2:15 through the finale. Try explaining that to a new viewer, you know, that's going to be tough. But oh yes, the order. I would say season 1, then season 2 up through episode 14. Then watch the entirety of season 3. Then go back to season 2 and watch episode 15 to the finale. Is what I would say. But thank you. Right over here, red shirt.
Can Justin produce Juice and also are Adam, Brian, and Justin all dead?
Really good question. I can't answer the Juice question. You may need to ask him that. But Juice Mode does sound pretty scary, so I don't know. Are Adam, Brian, and Justin dead? No, I don't think so. I feel like Cobbs designed them to sustain a pretty good fall. You know, it was implied at least that they were on the ship, but wherever they are, I think that they are alive in the world right now. I don't think they're gone. And Mifone didn't make them. Cobbs did, so they didn't disappear with anything else. Great question. And right over here.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
I put it on today because I maybe we should have released it.
At what point was the season 2 ending planned? In terms of like the really like nitty gritty details of it? I think episode 8 of season 2 was kind of like a turning point for the show where we really started to put the ideas in motion. That was when Cobbs had obviously showed up for the first time. Cobbs was originally supposed to show up in episode 5, and we kind of like pushed it a little further to kind of work out the kinks of the story a little bit more. But I think in terms of really ironing out the finer details, I would say like episodes 8 to 10, like that range is where we really started to plan out like the main bolts of the finale, which is crazy because that's like a decade ago. So, thank you. Does anyone have? Oh, over here.
I was wondering, how did the voice actors who aren't involved in the writing or like story planning or anything react to their lines once they first read them for the movie?
Oh, how do they react to it? Obviously, when they're like, no, my character died, like, it's like, no. But yeah, can I think of anything specific? Well, this is more of a personal one, but during the I song, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to animate the whole thing, because it was obviously like quite a long song. So we were wondering if like maybe halfway through the song, Apple would just like interrupt it really awkwardly and be like, oh, I hate this ending, like it's so bad, how could you end it like this? Because she has that line during the, like, oh, it should end like all those dance party endings in all the animated movies. It'd be funny if she was the one to be like, no, you have to stop this is messed up. We're like, we should just finish the whole song out, So that was one that I thought was really funny in the moment when we were recording, but I'm like, let's just try to do the whole song. But great question. Go right over here.
So throughout season 3, Nico was shown to be like trying to be close to Fox despite Fox like not being able to really afford. Do you think Fox would have actually had a relationship with Nico, like a friendship, if he were still alive at the time?
I think, it's a really good question. I could see them actually getting along weirdly, but I think that would be an entirely new relationship, and it's clear that anything that Box's corpse had experienced is not what Box as the character has experienced. So all of those moments, they did not go through any of it, which is kind of weird because the way Box dies obviously in this episode and season 3 during the whole hill tumble sequence was obviously very similar. But really good question, thank you. Let's go over here.
As a production studio, how do you see yourself growing over the next 2 to 3 years?
Oh man, it's honestly crazy to these credits were so long, there were so many amazing talented people who worked on this, and the screening we did yesterday in North Hollywood, a lot more crew members had come out for that one, and it was just so special for all of us to just be standing up here and answering questions together and everything. I could never have imagined it would grow to this scale, because I think episode 1 there were 4 animators, so me and 3 other people, and then on this episode there were close to 30. So it's just even from that time, it's just been such a huge development. But man, it's a good question. I'd hope to do, obviously, more Inanimate Insanity would be amazing, but if we can get into other stuff, I think would be awesome too. And now that we have so many more people, the amount of content we were able to make so quickly, I feel like really excited to tackle like what comes next. But really good question, thank you. Let's go over here.
Sorry. I was gonna say, but I was wondering if it's possible if I could take the board to like spread out.
Oh, take the board?
Yeah.
We do need the board. We're actually gonna put it in the BFDI office, I think. So that will have to stay. But I really appreciate that you like it, and we do have smaller signed versions available right over here if you're interested in that. But thank you. Right over here in the middle.
Speaking of Box's death, was it always planned for them to come back?
I mean, I am tempted to be like, yes, of course, I'm a genius. No, I think like, the first episode of season 2, my thought at the time being like a 14-year-old kid was like, it'd be funny if there was just a Box there who didn't like have a life. But there's so much story potential in that. And when we saw, getting into the idea of the characters becoming animatified, it just made all the sense in the world to go in this direction. So, but yeah, I'm not going to say that from episode 1, this was the exact plan. As tempting as it is, but thank you. Right over here.
So I already asked the question, but I wanted to ask it again. Then just saying if you know it, like this game called Incredibox Sprunky.
Incredibox Sprunky?
Yes, they made another mod that's like similar to it, but somebody did the characters in your honor and they added it.
Oh, that's really, really cool. That's amazing. I have not heard of the game, but I gotta check that out. That's really cool.
The game is called like, I don't know what they call it, Abigail?
Oh, the person who made the mod?
Yeah, it's in Scratch.
Oh, in Scratch? No way, that's awesome.
I played it. It's good.
What's the game called again? One more time?
I don't know what it's called, but like to pronounce it right.
Got it. Well, I'll definitely have to check that out. That sounds really cool.
The new Sprunky, yeah.
Awesome. I'll totally Google it, but thank you. Right over here.
Is my ex suitcase canon?
You know, with all of these, I'm gonna say, if it's canon, we'll see it on the screen. But I at least, you know, from my perspective, I feel like their relationship isn't romantic. At least from my perspective, I feel like they have a really great platonic bond. But that's just my headcanon, and if there's something on the screen that contradicts what I just said, then that will be the actual canon. But thank you very much. Of course. Thank you. Right over here. People were really good. I saw theories from many years ago that were getting really close to like what the answer was with this. And even the fact that the egg energy was a part of Me Phone, we had a lot of shots of obviously the characters glitching that were kind of tied to it. Even in season 3 with Springy showing up and everyone's like, oh my god, we know who Springy is. And they're like, Bot of course was the one that was like, who's Springy? Like I have no idea who this person is because they're the only one that Me Phone didn't make. And so we planted a lot of these seeds. In terms of that theory, I mean, I just found it really impressive because people were getting really close and it wasn't that far off. Like the egg energy clearly was a part of the character. And a lot of people too. Oh, what's that? It wasn't the character. Yeah, it was just a part of him and it was something that was kind of artificially put into him by Cobbs, which is kind of part of their relationship, you know? But really good question, thank you. Let's go Taco Plush over here.
This is kind of crazy, but could you sign me and my friend's plushies? Because he has a marker.
Yes, well, I was going to say, well, how much time do we have? Let me see. I don't know when we get kicked out. Probably pretty soon, so maybe we wrap up the Q&A and then if anyone wants to quickly have me sign anything, we can be as quick as we can with that. But thank you, so we'll get to that soon. All right, so we'll do like 1 or 2 more questions here. For anyone, and if you have asked a question, lower your hand just so we get to everyone who hasn't. Over here. Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, obviously there were characters like Trophy that are like, he's just a box, like it's not even real, and everyone's like, don't talk to him like that and stuff. Obviously, Box is she, her, so that also like was part of the irony there, is they were all, you know, thinking he. They didn't know who Box was. They were all talking to a corpse, so I think it was obviously played up as a bit, which Box acknowledges in this episode, like you were playing it all as a bit. No, I don't think so, you know. So there's a lot of that humor there. No, definitely. Thank you. All right, anyone else who was not asked? Did we get through everyone? Is this the first Q&A that we got through everyone? Wow, that's pretty good. Awesome, okay, good. Thank you all so much. Like seriously, you're all the best. Like, I cannot believe this just happened. This is amazing, and really appreciate all the support. We're probably getting kicked out of here at like 10, so if y'all want me to sign some stuff, we gotta be pretty quick, but we'll get through everything that we can. Thank you.